Hi guys, it is Connie, and today I am here with my last Camel Blue from this pack because I haven't bought any new Camel Blue packs. And today I am going to be talking about I don't really know how I'm gonna word this title, but what smoking for the first time felt like, basically. Because as I do with everything, I researched how smoking for the first time feels. What do you feel when you smoke for the first time? Am I gonna die while smoking for the first time? Whatever. I panicked and I researched a lot, and I didn't really find a lot of videos, to be honest, or just information of real people, not like doctors or anything, just people like you and me talking about how it feels to smoke for the first time. So I am going to be that person for anyone who wants that information. So let's do it, shall we? Let's light this up. It's so windy outside again. Alright, so me, the first ever serious cigarette that I smoke, I usually say that was in between June and August of 2021. And I feel like the environment and the people that you smoke with for the first time that you're smoking will influence a lot the way that you perceive your first time, your first hit, what cigarettes feel like. Because imagine, if the first time you ever smoke a cigarette is in the middle of a very tough, hard situation, you're like in the middle of a fight or something, and you smoke your first cigarette, you can even associate cigarettes to bad feelings and bad times. But if you have your first cigarette like I had mine when it was like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I was in Lisbon with my now boyfriend, my friend at the time, and we were sitting at a very remote place near the ocean, just staring at the ocean. It was very calming. I had my little, I have a little like speaker. I guess you call it speaker in English. I was about to call it colium because in Portuguese we call it coluna. I had this thing. This is a mini speaker, and we were listening to Cigarettes After Sex, The Neighborhood, all of those like really chill groups, So I could never associate smoking cigarettes with bad experiences after that first experience, But I remember specifically, because I obviously don't remember all the cigarettes that I smoke, right? But I do remember this one because it was the first one that I really wanted to try and like give it a go. So I remember that, as you know, and I've talked about this endless times, and you're probably sick of hearing it, but I am extremely anxious most of the time, and my thoughts don't work in a normal way. I don't know, I don't want to call it abnormal, but I don't feel like it's normal either, so it's just different. And what the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, I remember. So they work in a very different way, and my brain works in a way that I have one main thought, then I have two background thoughts. Like I have the main thing I'm thinking about, then I have two other things that I'm thinking about, and then I have a song. At all times, this is what's happening in my brain. I always have all of these things popping up. That's why it's so hard for me sometimes to make coherent sentences and to remember a specific line of thought, because I haven't quite learned how to ignore everything else that's happening in my head, But I remember that I was having my normal thoughts of thinking about what was happening and thinking other things, having a music in my head, And I lit my Chesterfield Black. I think that was what I was smoking at the time. Like I had never really smoked, but I had a pack of Chesterfield Blacks that I carried just so I could offer cigarettes to people that asked me, because I wanted to be the cool friend that had cigarettes to offer, So I took two, one for me, one for him, and I lit it, and the first hit I took, it just felt like it was kind of trippy. It was not a trip at all, but it was kind of trippy in the way that it felt like a cloud of wind or smoke or whatever just came into my brain and just cleansed everything that was happening there. So I went from having a lot of thoughts to just being in that moment, just thinking about, wow, this sensation is cool, like I want to feel this, you know. And I remember looking at him, and he was looking at me, feeling exactly the same thing I was feeling, because it was also his first cigarette. And we were just like kind of looking at each other, kind of like, you can feel this, you can feel kind of calm with this. And so my system, my brain, my body had never had any serious amount of nicotine entering it ever. So of course the first hit is going to be it's going to already give you a buzz, probably, at least it gave me. It's going to give you a sensation of nothingness, which was very great. But of course, I do not encourage anyone to smoke, because this is something that I saw a comment today on one of my videos, and it just said, and a lot of comments say this, and I appreciate it because it is true, but he said you should quit smoking, and I said every smoker should quit smoking because smoking is bad. So I never want to encourage anyone to start smoking. But if you're looking for answers at what happens when you smoke for the first time, either because you're curious or because you are going to try, and it's of course not going to be me saying don't try, that's gonna make you stop from like doing it, you know. But I feel like I always have to spread the awareness of don't do it because it's bad, don't do it because you look at me and it seems like I'm having a good time or not, because it is a hole that you're digging yourself into. So what is this lighting? Whatever. But yeah, what the hell? Hold on, I'll be right back. So I had to switch a little bit of the angle because the lighting there was getting kind of crazy. Hold on. Okay, this is better. But stop. My car is so small that I'm always hitting buttons and everything is always like making sounds, and it's kind of annoying sometimes, but whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I wish I would have had someone told me what it would feel like. It can also feel very overwhelming if you have a not weak, but like sensitive body like I do, because as I explained in some videos before, I don't need a lot of substance of any kind, of like alcohol. I don't drink alcohol, but I've tried, and I don't need a lot of alcohol to feel tipsy. I don't need a lot of cigarettes to feel a buzz. I need 2 hits of a cigarette to feel a buzz, and I have been smoking for some months, so for some people it would have already escalated to needing 2 or 3 or 4 cigarettes, and I still don't, because my body is very sensitive to anything that like any substance that comes in, you know. But if you have a very sensitive system like I do, it could be very overwhelming, because it is a sensation that you probably never felt. It's almost like it is taking over your mental state. It's almost like someone just came into your brain and grabbed all of your thoughts and just took them away. That's how it felt for me, and it was very pleasing at the time because I had never felt that. But yeah, that's basically what it felt for me. It was just a very calming, weird, kind of like cloud in my brain sensation. That's the best I can describe it. And yeah, I mean, it's not a very complex thing to explain, so I don't really have anything else to say. But if you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments, and I will always try to answer them as best as I can. And that's basically it. Leave a like if you liked the video, and a dislike if you didn't. Even though like YouTube doesn't like show the number of dislikes anymore, which I understand, but at the same time I feel like sometimes it could be helpful to know if someone doesn't like your videos, or like a big majority of people don't like a specific video, so that you can either decide if it's uncomfortable for people or like the topic just isn't interesting at all, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, subscribe if you liked me, and just stay tuned because I post every 2 days. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.